The title of this story is, It's a Snake. Okay.
It's snake.
Once upon a time, there was a bunch of robbers who robbed a rich man's house. And they all took a bunch of gold in their bags and, like loot. And they took it to a farmer's field. There, they started to separate the money into bags and they took it home. But one big bag of gold rolled over and fell into a small little hole off to the side. And then the night times passed. Now, every morning, the Buddha, he wakes up in the morning, and because he's such a kind person, he wants to help people. But he doesn't waste his time. He will help people who are ready for help. And he used his powers to look into the whole world. He searched Google, who is the most ready to get help from the Buddha? And suddenly, the first link was Mr. Farmer. So he says, I will go help the farmer. So he grabbed his helper named Ananda, which is the same name as me, very cool name. He took the monk Ananda together to go to the field. When they got to the field, the monk saw him, and the monk was like, oh, the Buddha's here to visit me. Sadhu, sadhu, pay respects, pay respects, pay respects. And the Buddha said, I accept your respects. And then the Buddha did something very weird. He looked at Ananda, and then he looked that direction into the field. And he says, Ananda, look, it's a snake. It's a dangerous snake. And Ananda looked at the teacher, looked at where he pointed. Yes, teacher, it is a dangerous snake. And then the Buddha left. And then they left. And the farmer was like, a snake? Oh no, it's a snake. But he didn't want to leave a snake in his field, so he had to go look for it, right? And so when he got there, there was no snake. There was a bag of riches. He knows that it's not his, right? Right? He knows that he didn't earn this. Someone left a bag of money in his field. But when he opened it, all this money can be mine. And then he thought, now this is where your mind makes tricks and twists it. He says, maybe the Buddha was trying to show me the money. Even though he didn't remember what the Buddha said what? It's a dangerous snake. But he thought, oh, look at how nice the Buddha is. He pointed to me where the money is. That means he wants me to have it. So the farmer decides, you know what? I'm going to keep this money. But it's too heavy. So let's bury it here first. And I'm going to do my work and I'll come get it later. I'm so happy. He's so happy. But guess what happened? The rich man's house, they woke up and they found out their house had been robbed. And they're like, oh no, let's go catch the bad guys. So he grabbed all his homies, grabbed Achita and Matthew and Aim. They all grabbed sticks and swords. And like, let's go get them. Tia's carrying a big stick, Dream's got 2 clubs in her hands. Wanda has a big hammer, Abby has 2 forks. And decided to go after them. So the whole team went like, let's go get the guys. And they started tracking. They'd follow the footsteps, they followed the dropped treasure, and they traced them to the field. And then they saw this weird area of footprints and they saw dragging marks. So they followed the dragging marks. And then they found the treasure. And so they said, this farmer must have been one of the bandits. And so they grabbed the farmer and they beat the heck out of him. They poked him with Abby's forks. They took Wanda's hammer and hit him a lot. They hurt him so bad. Like they broke him so bad. And then after that, they decided to get him executed. So they took him to the king, and the king says, take him to the cemetery and execute this person who steals from people. His arms are broken, his legs are broken, his body's broken, and they're dragging him to the cemetery ready for execution. On the way, he kept saying one thing. Ananda, look, it's a dangerous snake. Yes, Lord Buddha, it's a dangerous snake. And he would finish with, and then after a few more feet, Ananda, look, it's a dangerous snake. Yes, my Lord, it's a dangerous snake. And he would keep saying that the whole time to the cemetery. Then the soldiers are like, why you keep talking about the Buddha? You're about to die. You're a bad person. You rob people. You steal from people. You're about to get executed. Why do you keep saying what the Buddha said? Why do you keep saying what Ananda said? And he said, they asked him, he says, if you want to know, ask me in front of the king. So they took him back to the king, just in case, because in case there's something about the Buddha, they don't want to make a mistake. So they took him back to the king. Then he told the king that, hey, why did you say this? And he said, this is what happened. And so the king says, there's one way to prove it, just to make sure. So they all went to go see the Buddha. And they said, Lord Buddha, this man, we think he robbed the rich man, and we're about to execute him. But he keeps saying your name. He keeps saying you said something. Can you explain it to us? And the Buddha says, I will admit, what he said is true. He did not steal it. He found it and he wanted to keep it. I was there, I saw it, I'm a witness. And because of the Buddha being a witness, the farmer got freed. And the king was like, you're so lucky that if the Buddha didn't come, you would have gotten executed for something you didn't do. So now the farmer's free, the money, some of the money went back, but then the farmer started thinking, all of this happened because of my greed. I saw something that I know was not mine. I saw something that I didn't deserve. Yet when I looked at that money, when it's someone else's, all I thought was what I can buy. I did not think about all the forks that Abby's gonna stab me with. I did not think about Wanda's hammer. I did not think about aim sticks. I did not think about the anger and how people are gonna hate me or maybe execute me. I didn't think about the consequences. And now I understand. When the Buddha saw the treasure, he did not see treasure. He saw a dangerous snake. When you get close to a dangerous snake, it's very dangerous. It can hurt you, it can kill you. It's better to stay away from dangerous things than to go close. But our brains trick us and show us beautiful things and tell us we want it. For some fat people, sweet things are dangerous snakes, right? For some kids, video games are dangerous snakes. For some people, money is a dangerous snake. For some people, social media is a dangerous snake. For some people, compliments are a dangerous snake. For some people, gossip is a dangerous snake. You have to know what kind of snake you're allergic to. You have to know what is dangerous for you. Learn to look past the thing and see the danger. If there's no danger or there's less danger, then it's free to do. But if the thing is dangerous, the smart person will do what? What should the farmer have done? If we go back, let's rewind the story. Back to when the Buddha said, over there's a dangerous snake. Should he go check? It's his field. Should he check if there's a snake in there? He probably should check. But when you find the gold, what should you do? Should you try to hide it? Should you get excited and try to steal it? You know it's not yours. What should you do?
Give it back.
Find out who it belongs it, or let the authorities know. Let someone else call the police, call the people who deal with this. Let the authorities deal with this. Do not take it. Now let me give you a quick example in the real world. And this has happened many times. Sometimes the bank, you know how the bank holds your money? Have you heard of this? Sometimes they make a mistake. There was a certain person who got $1 million overnight. They woke up in the morning, let's say Dream, right? Dream has a bank account of $16. Then when she wakes up tomorrow, $1,016. And Dream's like, where's this money come from? What is this? It's not my money. But she said, it's in my bank account. So she starts taking it out. She buys Aim some toys. She buys her mom this. She buys this and that, this and that, this and that. Do you know what happens? First of all, when they make an investigation, they will force Dream to pay back all the money. And if she can't pay it back, she has to go to jail. Doesn't that suck? You get money, but it's not yours. And then when you spend it, not only do you have to pay it all back, you also have to pay for the crime of taking it. So you know what you're supposed to do when the bank gives you money accidentally? Give it back. Immediately, don't touch it. Some people will call the bank right away. There's a mistake. Get it out of my account. Because that money is dangerous. If it sits in your account and you get in trouble, it's like you're holding someone else's money. So the smart people will not touch it. They will not spend a single dollar and they will call the bank, take it back. But the stupid people will get excited. Many people, you can see this on Google, many people have done this before. They accidentally got free money and they spent it. Or some people figured out a trick. If you go to the ATM at 2 a.m., the bank loses the time or something goes wrong, you can withdraw money and then like it doesn't change your bank account or something. So some guy figured that out and ended up stealing like $500,000 from the bank. Eventually he got caught. And after he got caught, he had to go to jail. So all the money that he spent couldn't save him. In fact, it's a poisonous snake. So beware of poisonous snakes. Satu.